Hello, Ada.
Hello.
We are going to wait a little bit to have the registrants join.
Sure.
I can see that the participants start joining. So, hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. I can see that they keep keep joining the webinar room, so that's great. Hello, Maria. Thank you for your message. Nice to have you here. So I think that we can start and everybody else can just join along the way.
Sure.
All right. So
Hi, everyone.
hi, good afternoon, and thank you for taking the time to join this webinar session, and in which we will discuss more about our students' transformational experiences and also the reasons why we are so different by offering a unique and efficient academic journey. Now, who dreams about finishing high school or any type of study and embarking on this experience where you can grow both personally and professionally? It sounds good, so I think that everybody would like to enjoy this type of experience. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is possible to be achieved, and we will tell you more details about it. Now, what I would like to tell you to begin with, we would like you to drop us any type of questions in the chat section, as we want to address all of your queries or concerns and have an open conversation. Like every week, we have a special guest, and today we have Andreea with us. Ada, thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience and to be here. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you, Andrea. It's nice being here and talking to future students, hopefully.
Great. Well, for those of you who don't know so many things about us, we represent a group of business academies located in Brașov, Romania. And at the moment, we offer 3 curricula for the bachelor program, the hotel management through American Hotel Academy, culinary management through Taste Culinary Business Academy, and digital marketing management through Digital Hub Academy. Now, what I would like to emphasize on is the fact that our students, upon graduation, they will receive a British diploma from our academic partner, Manchester Metropolitan University from UK. It's a diploma that has a lot of value because behind it, there is an academic system validated for years and years. So it consists of a real advantage. And besides this, our students have the option to benefit as well. Actually, they benefited because it's a mandatory thing, the paid internships where they go to every year in order to apply the knowledge already learned throughout their courses and also gain skills and professional experience to help them upon graduation and employment. A little bit about myself. My name is Andreea. I am part of the I am part of the marketing and admissions team within our academies. And I have also graduated American Hotel Academy last year. So I will use as well my experience to answer to your questions and different curiosities. As I was mentioning before, Ada is here with us, whom I would like to welcome and thank for the participation one more time. Ada, can you please tell us more about yourself and about your professional experience?
Of course. Just a note, Andrea was one of our best students, so her experience here would be very valuable so pick her brain whenever you have a chance. I'm sure she has a lot of to share.
Thank
So I started in hospitality. Actually, I worked in several locations before coming into the academic area. I really like hospitality, and I believe it's a wonderful environment because it allows you to get instant satisfaction when you see guests that are happy and you make their day. So I worked in Romania as well as in the United States for a while, in hotels. In a last hotel was a chain hotel at Hyatt. But then I had this amazing opportunity to start working for an American Hotel Academy 14 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So we opened the school in 2007, and that's when I started with them, with American Hotel Academy. So the idea behind the American Hotel Academy and the reasoning for opening the school, it's still something that guides us now, 14 years later, because we want to make programs that are relevant for the industry that they're in, and we want all the best experiences for our students. So that's how we started, and that's how 14 years later we're still continuing. I have seen this grow from one academy with a few students to now several academies with hundreds of students and probably about 1,000, I think, soon 1,000 graduates. And since last year, I accepted this challenge of a new position within the American European Education, and that is of Director of Development. So my role now is to shape the future of all our academies in terms of programs, program validation, and set the framework for that learning environment that will help people discover and achieve their true potential. And we do this through quality education, and we aim at transforming all of our students, not only professionally, but also as human beings. So that's a little bit about myself.
Well, so far you've been doing a great job, and you are highly appreciated within our academy. So thank you for your effort and everything that you are doing. And since we are talking about transformational experience throughout this webinar, what do we refer to when we think of a transformational experience, especially when it comes to the academic background?
For us at American European Education, when we think about the transformational experience, we think about the students. So what can we offer them so that they become better, and once they graduate, they are valuable members of any community that they are living or working in. So we provide, through the transformational experience, that synergistic environment where everyone that is part of the learning process, whether they're the students, whether they are industry experts, teachers, or graduates, they all come together in this environment in a culture where continuous learning is encouraged, where experiencing, creating, and growing is what each of these actors aim at. And it's an environment that where also innovation and creative thinking is stimulated. And it also means, I think, and I think it's really important, is to instill in each of our students our values. And that is of courage, of integrity, of community, of coming together, of becoming great and growing. So in a sense, that is what transformational experience is: coming together as a community and becoming better human beings once this experience is over.
Exactly. And it, as you were mentioning, it helps students grow both personally and professionally. So in this way, they can achieve their best potential. Now, I have a lot of friends actually who struggle with the systems or their journey, especially when it comes to higher education. And sometimes they feel a sense of confusion, which is mostly determined by the lack of guidance throughout their studies, lack of support, sense of belonging. How important are these factors, especially in a higher education institution, when we speak about developing young and confident experts for different industries?
To be confident in what you do and to become an expert, someone has to be really good at what they're doing. But I think equally important, someone has to really like what they're doing. And that means choosing something you like to make a career in. Because it's often said that when you really like what you're doing, it's no more working, it's playing. So that's really important. And counseling and support for choosing the right career should start from high school. Unfortunately, teenagers nowadays do not receive that, or they receive it very little in high school. So they end up struggling finding the right career. They are confused and often end up in a job that they do not like. And we've seen that several times. Even with our students, we have students coming in that have tested other faculties that they didn't like before coming to us. So what we come and we face that challenge of, and we understand that challenge of our interested candidates. So we come in and we support students even before they start school with us. We show them that what they're doing and ask them to identify their strengths and weaknesses. And so we go into high school and do that little bit of career counseling already with them. Then when they come back to school, from day one, we immerse them in our community, and we guide them and we counsel them. We have several induction programs for them, so that by the end of their program, when they finish in 3 years' time, in 4 years' time, they are confident, intelligent leaders that are capable of working in the global market, and most importantly, they really enjoy what they're working.
Great. And indeed, I think that this confidence, besides coming from the knowledge that you acquire, it comes as well from the people around you that help you grow and that believe in you. So it's essential to surround yourself with such people and such values. Now, I have created a poll for our participants with the factors that influence their academic experience. And as far as I can see, 60% of them stated that receiving the necessary guidance and academic support influences a lot their academic experience. And also we have 20% for having lecturers who use interactive methods during classes, and 20% for the sense of belonging in a student community. So as we can see, it is very important to belong, to be accepted, to be supported, and also to receive the knowledge and support that you have actually chosen the academy for.
Yes, that's really true, and you guys were all right when answering this poll, because all these things are really important, and especially like you've noticed, getting the guidance and support during your academic program from your lecturers, from, like you said, someone that cares for you and is there for you. It's really important because it relieves some of the pressure, some of the, I don't know, confusion that comes in with all coming into an unknown environment and with unknown people around you. So yes, I agree with the outcome of the poll. That's really important.
Thank you for answering and for participating in it. And in my opinion, I don't know how wrong or right I am. However, I believe that schools should help students reach their best potential and help them go through this transformational experience, both personally and professionally. Now, this experience, I would really like to know, is it the same for all the students, or how much is the school responsible for this, and how much is in the hands of the students? Because I assume that you as a student need to be open to go through this transformational experience.
Yes, you're right. Well, to answer the first part of your question, the transformational experience or any experience is different. It's in the eyes of whoever experiences it. So it's different for each individual. I look at an apple and I see something, and you look at the same apple and you see something different. It's all based on previous experiences and on your background and what you're bringing to that new experience. So we recognize that each experience is different for each individual. And we, as members of the academic department and of members of staff in the academies, we also go through this journey together with the students, and we experience another transformational experience, obviously, but we go along with each student. For our students, I think it's an experience that changes from knowing, or we aim to offer that experience of changing from just having the knowledge to understanding what they're learning, uh, and then asking about what they're learning. So from asking the what am I learning, we take the students to ask themselves, how is this knowledge going to help me? But we go beyond that, and we aim at having our students ask themselves, why am I learning this? How is this going to help me in my future career? How can I integrate that knowledge with other knowledge? So the transformation experience helps each student grow, obviously, as much as he wants to grow, from a novice to someone that is very competent. That's the knowledge. Maybe even to exceptional performance. And what we aim for through our transformational experience is to have students that finally end up becoming leaders who are emotionally and spiritually intelligent, and accept those limitations, whichever they want, and they strive to overcome them. As leaders, our students, I think we expect them to be capable of leading and creating, maybe even transforming their environment, rather than just reacting to it. So we want them to be bold and courageous in meeting whatever challenges they have, and overcome them. And also, I think another thing that we're looking for when we are talking about creating that environment of transformational experience is that we aim for them to find meaning in everything that they do and experience. So whether we're talking about an exceptional internship experience or a not so good internship experience, whether we're talking about their newfound love, so a personal development, or even a failed exam. So we want them to learn and find the meaning in every experience that they go through while they're students with us. Of course, to answer the last part of your question, the pace of the experience, how fast they develop themselves, is set by each student. We can only provide the environment, but as I said, each transformational experience is different for each student. So we provide the environment, we provide the support and the guidance. We provide the tools for students to experience their own and then internalizes and come out at the end of that experience, hopefully stronger and more courageous and deeply aware of themselves and the world around them. So it's a complete experience, both in terms of professional development, but also personal development.
That's true. And I really liked how you stated in reference to leaders and entrepreneurs, because from my experience, what I've noticed at American Hotel Academy was the fact that through the courses and through the experience, you could have become an expert if you wish to work in a hotel and reach the general manager stage. But you had as well the academic support and knowledge in order to go ahead and open your own business and be a successful entrepreneur and leader. So I really, personally, I really like how these two things combine, because there are a lot of people who pursue management programs and are thinking in the future to open their own businesses. So it's really nicely thought. Now,
Yeah.
as well, still talking about experiences, there are a variety of factors that might influence them either positively or negatively. When it comes to choosing the appropriate higher education, what should be taken into consideration when choosing it to make sure that that academic institution matches your values and what you want to do in the future?
I think choosing the right school is an extremely important decision in higher education. When we talk about higher education, choosing the right university to go to, because it is a long-term commitment of 3-4 years. So you go there and you have to do it. And it pretty much defines someone's life forever. So no pressure when choosing the university. But as with all important decisions, I also think that it is taken with the heart. So it's not only the mind, the reasons, like the valid reasons are important, but also what your heart tells you. So, and we are aware of this, and we are aware that it's really hard for the students and their parents to make these decisions, and we take it very seriously. It's a responsibility that we take, and we understand it. And we make a point, therefore, to always be very transparent with all the information, and honest and supportive to anyone interested in choosing our programs. And of course, from the academic point of view, I would say that to choose the appropriate academic institution, one should look at the values of that institution, the teachers and the industry connections, the degree, the certificates that one will obtain, also the support and the care it offers during the student's life and after graduation. Maybe even look at the opportunities of finding a job after graduation on the global market. So from the academic point of view, I would advise to take this into consideration. But in the end, I think whatever is important to someone, we know it will impact this decision. So whether your parents are important, whether the location of the new school, it's important because you like, for example, in our case, skiing, and you have a ski resort right next door. maybe a newfound love, it's important, and your boyfriend or your new girlfriend are going to that program, so why not attend it also? An interesting lecturer might also be important, someone that you met in different circumstances and found out that they're teaching here. Maybe even the experience that your friends had while attending these programs, or even a dream that you have of becoming someone sometime in the future. So I think all these things, depending on what's important for each person, that's what also will influence your decisions. So I would advise to anyone to just go out there and talk to that institution, ask as many questions as possible, and if it makes you feel good, just go for it.
That's true. I mean, there might be along the way people who might bring you down. I mean, you might think you found your passion and the field that you want to go to, and then there might try to guide you towards a different direction. But it's very important to listen to your heart, because perhaps you might be starting something just because somebody influenced you, and then you might not find yourself happy in the end. So as Ada said, if you're working with pleasure and that work brings you joy, you don't feel like working. It's a vacation or just play. And considering that our students follow a British program and structure, to what extent do you consider that Romanian academies, universities, or schools are concerned about the transformational experience of their students?
I think any educational institution is concerned to some extent about the experience of their students and about their well-being, because it is part of being in this environment of constant learning and care for the other. Are they actively interested, and are they taking steps towards developing students as a whole? Probably not. For this to happen, I think it takes a lot of resources and planning ahead. It also takes commitment from the organization towards each individual evolution. And we're talking here about hundreds of students at the same time. So, for example, one example that comes into my mind right now is how much we spend in guiding our students for their right career. So, for example, in the first year, all of our students have one-on-one talks with a guiding career counselor. So that means that someone sits with you one-on-one and tries to find out your strengths and your weaknesses, and together you create a plan for your career, and you receive guidance into what internship or what job would fit best with your personality. So as I said, and this takes a lot of time. So we have career counselors that do this for about 2 months in the beginning of the first year, because we understand that the jump from high school in Romania to an international environment that we have in American European education, taught in English, with a university standards from the United Kingdom, it's a big step and it's a big gap. So we take that time individually with each student to do it. So as I said, it requires a lot of commitment and resources to do that.
Thank you. Indeed, I mean, if I were to go back in time and think about my experience at American Hotel Academy, I can identify the most important stages or steps that, from my point of view, helped me throughout my development. So as you were mentioning about transparency in the admissions phase, I received all of the information that I needed in order to know what I was getting myself into and if it's suitable for me or not. Additionally, throughout the academic years, I was absorbing all of the information from lecturers who were also professionals in the field, which help us as well see their point of view besides the book's point of view. And of course, the internship where we have received the support systems to help us gain a positive experience. And in case the experience was not that positive, we were taught and encouraged to learn from it and to see the good part in it to become stronger and ready for the future. Now, when it comes to our students, what is their, let's say, academic journey from the point they get accepted to their graduation stage?
As you very well noticed, with our academies, the student journey starts before someone becomes a student. It starts at the first contact the interested person has with us. And then the entire transformational experience starts there, and it never stops, actually. So yes, it goes through the admission process and then the welcome week, which is like an introduction into the student life and the academic requirements that we have. And then all these years where various opportunities arise that each student can grasp and make it their own. And these opportunities happen inside the classroom, whether, as you said, is a lecturer that does not only speak from books but has experience in the industry and shares that with you, to field trips or outside of the classes, even parties that we organize are also part of the student experience. Then internships, as you very well pointed out, they're a major point of contact in the journey that the student has. And I've seen countless experiences of students that change them for the better and made them more mature and more confident. So the internship is a big part of the transformation experience. And then the graduation ceremony is also really important for the students because it marks the end of the formal program. But then it starts with the alumni experience. So once you're not a student, you're part of the alumni community and you're always in contact with us. That's why I said it never ends, this connection that each of our students has with the school.
That's true. And the alumni part is very important because even myself, I am part of it now. I've went to the next step, but we are very close to each other and we really embrace this community feeling. Even from the beginning, we are part of this great family. This is how we like to call it, because everybody is there for you, supports you. We grow together. We spend most of the time together. And then afterwards, everybody goes to different sides of the world, but somehow we still get connected. Job offers appear in there, so it helps you as well grow in both ways. So it's really important, and it's an aspect that I actually enjoy and really like. Now, as well, you've mentioned about the lecturers and their professional experience as well. Recent studies and studies in general that were conducted on students' academic journey emphasize on how important the lecturer's way of teaching is affecting students. If they have interactive classes, help them think critically, it would actually improve the students' abilities. Now, when it comes to our lecturers, what are the values they stick to and why are their methods so efficient?
Are they efficient?
From my point of view, yes.
Great. I'm happy then. We believe that, all our programs are professionally oriented. So our connection with the industry is really important, and it's a really plays a really big part of the programs, from when we create the programs to obviously when the student ends up working in the industry. So we believe that one of the main points of contact with the industry is through our lectures. So we make a point in having a balanced group of both academics and industry experts when it comes to our lectures. So of course, we expect our lectures, all of them, to live by our values of integrity, of meritocracy, of hard work, discipline. We expect that from the students as well as from faculty. But at the same time, our learning and teaching is run in accordance with 4, I think, main principles that are always there, and we think about them whenever we teach as lecturers or when we create a new program. And so principle number 1 would be lifelong learning. We want students, or we want to create a community that is eager to learning and happy to do this throughout their lives. We create for this a flexible international curriculum where students are the most important part, and is driven by employability. So when we create a program, we look at what are the needs of the industry, so that by the end of that program, our students have experience and are employable in that industry. Principle 2 is what we call synergy. It's about team teaching, learning and assessment, and creating that environment in the classroom where learning is shared by everyone. So it's never about the lecturer transmitting knowledge to the students, but about sharing learning. And I often hear lecturers saying, I have as much to learn from my students as they have to learn from me. The third principle is, it's called 3Q Grow. It's about developing of an intelligent leadership, or how our students, we aim at having them develop skills and leadership strengths that grow at the speed of change and challenges, both in terms of intellectual, emotional, and spiritual intelligence. As I said, we look at the student as a whole, and we want them to transform as a whole. And then principle 4 is very much related to what happens now. It's called connectivism, and it's about learning in the digital age. So when we teach in all our programs, we aim at introducing technology, access to facilities, co-working spaces that are high-tech, to support this learning and teaching and assessment. So to sum up, these are some of the areas where we encourage the lecturers to get more involved. But whenever they teach, the way we teach is all based on this common learning, team learning based on technology, and based on development of intelligent leadership skills.
Thank you. And also, besides the lecturer's importance, our group of academies also embody psychologists and career counselors, like you were mentioning previously, who provide personalized guidance for our students' careers. From your experience, since you have implemented this option within our academies, how important it is for a student to have a go-to place to receive all of the support needed?
I think it's very important because it shows commitment on the organization part. commitment towards the well-being of the students, and not only commitment but also concern for their needs and for their voice. The student voice within our academies is really important to us, because it allows the students to express themselves, and we can only have, or they can only have a good experience if we listen to them and we adjust our offering based on that. It also offers, I think, this go-to place, it offers a safety net that is much, much needed, especially in the first year, for the first year students. But of course, all this works only if that go-to place is a secure, non-judgmental environment where students' voice is actually heard and actions are taken accordingly. Otherwise, it's just for the show. And we make a point in having an open door policy, and our students can go to whoever they feel more comfortable with to share their concerns and find solutions for their problems.
Thank you. Indeed, these aspects are important, and thank you very much for helping us understand more about what transformational experience consists of and their experience. Now, regarding my experience, because I related to many things that you said, when I first got accepted, I was feeling like probably any high school student might think. First of all, I was scared and confused and overwhelmed because it is an important decision for your education and for your future. So it needs to be an informed one. But when I got there and I saw my future colleagues and future students, I still could have sensed this high school way of thinking, and including myself, this is how we were taught to think, to behave, to react to certain things. And at the beginning, we were a little bit scared, to be honest. But then the academic life started along with the internship. And when I came back, everybody looked the same. Maybe the boys were a little bit taller, but everybody seemed so different. I mean, you could have seen from their way of acting that they were more confident, they had more knowledge, they had the courage to speak freely the things that they were initially afraid of confessing, and so on. And then forwarding to the graduation part and looking back, I could see myself as an improved version of who I was before. And I think this is very important, and it's a very crucial feeling. And I would like everyone to actually look back and see this improvement. Now, what I'm really trying to say is that you learn to discover yourself and also to improve yourself. Before, I was scared of public speaking. I actually hated it. And today I'm hosting a webinar and I actually love it. So I think that says a lot. And as Ada said, regarding your decision for the future, it's very important to choose what you are passionate about in order for you to become an expert or the best in the field. But it's also important to choose an environment that fosters this development and helps you grow in many, many ways. And I got a little bit nostalgic because I really like my experience, and it's a very safe place to be in. But as we are approaching the end of our discussion, I know that we keep bringing new projects for our students to benefit from. So Ada, can you give us some more insights of what projects are you currently preparing for our students and what we should expect to see in the near future?
Yes, I'm very excited actually, because there are several programs that we are rolling out as we speak for our students, because we constantly try to adjust. This is one of the good things about the academies, is that we're very flexible. It's a flexible environment where we constantly adjust based on, for example, the feedback that we get from the students, the feedback that we get from the industry, and make our programs better. There are two major lines that we are working on right now. One is we've recently set up a very close partnership with a restaurant in Brasov. So as we mentioned before, the professional part and the practical training is really important in our programs, because we believe that by the time you graduate, you should have experience so that you're easily employable. So this partnership will allow our students, both for the culinary program as well as for the hospitality program, to further experience their real life work environment while they're studying. So we will have students that are in the first year. They've never been to an internship. They've never, I don't know, interacted most probably with a client, a customer, and we put them there, obviously with a lot of guidance and a lot of support and supervision. But we encourage them to go out there and take orders from the client and try to interact with the client and I don't know, develop a recipe for the restaurant and work on the menu for that restaurant. So starting this semester, our students will, first and second year students will do that. And then another program that is in line with the principle that I was talking to you about, the first principle, which is the lifelong learning. So sticking with that principle, we are in the process of creating a hub, an entrepreneurship hub for students and graduates who are courageous and passionate enough to get in the game and become a business owner. So right after graduation or while they're studying with us, we've been told by the students that some of them are thinking of doing that. So we want to create this hub where we bring together students, entrepreneurial students, and we will soon offer a very hands-on, intensive program full of networking and funding opportunities, full of expert advice and of mentoring, full of long hours, but also a lot of fun and very interesting. So these are the two programs that we will be rolling out, especially for our students this year.
Well, I'm looking forward to their implementation and also to hear the students' feedback. Personally, since I was just recently a student, I think that they're gonna love it, especially the ones that I was mentioning about earlier, the ones that aspire to have their own business. So this one would be actually very beneficial to them. Now, I would like to ask our participants if they have any questions regarding our programs about the transformational experience or our students' experience. I could see that throughout the conversation, at the moment we didn't have any questions, but please feel free to leave them here in the chat section to address them. Or if no question pops in your mind right now, I will just leave our website details in here and also my personal email address in case you have any questions regarding the admissions, the courses, and what you will be learning as a student. We will be waiting to see if anybody has any questions.
So I just wanted to say that I'm really happy to see Karina and Felix and Maria and Christina and Elena and Ilia and everyone else. So I hope that I answered some of your concerns or questions. And if you have further, please do ask them.
I think that you have provided us so much information and perhaps we are still processing it because, I mean, you were very thorough in everything that you said. And, like every teacher says, if there are no questions, it means that the lesson has been taught accordingly.
Or you fell asleep. I hope
Oh,
not.
no, I don't think it's the case. Maria actually left us a question. Um, I am actually taking the interview tomorrow and I am quite nervous. Do you have any advice for me?
Good luck. The purpose of the interview, the way we thought about it, is for us to see, well, besides the level of English, which from what your question is pretty good. So besides that, we aim to see if, like I said before, if you really like this industry and what you like about it. So uh, it might be your first interview, so I'm sure it's not an easy task for you, and we're aware of that. So we do our best to make you feel comfortable as much as possible. And as a tip, yes, focus on why you really enjoy this industry. I'm not sure for which academy you are going to apply, and I'm sure you will have a good interview and you will do good. And hopefully we'll see each other in October in
Yes.
person this time.
And also, thank you, Karina. She said that she doesn't have any question because everything was so well presented, thanks to Ada. And for Maria, I actually have an advice myself as I went through this stage and I felt as nervous as probably you are right now. And it's that sense of something new, something that you haven't experienced before, like an interview, especially when it comes to the admission stage. But once you go into that room, you notice that everybody smiles at you. The conversation automatically gets more comfortable. So you will just start speaking and you will not realize how the time passes. So my advice would be just to be yourself, to pay attention to the questions and answer them in an honest manner, and I'm sure you're gonna do great. Okay, so there are no other questions. Well, as I was mentioning, I have left our contact details in the chat section. You can just screenshot them or copy them. And at any time, whenever you have any questions, as Ada was mentioning, we have an open door policy. So we are here to guide you, to advise you at our best capabilities. And also, if you are interested as well about this type of subject and you are curious to learn more about us, we organize these webinars every week. And I invite you all to join the next webinar session, which is going to be focused on our Digital Hub Academy. We have a very special guest as well, actually a person from the industry talking about the employability within the digital marketing field. And
Also,
I really,
one of our lecturers, so that's always that connection.
exactly. And please follow us on LinkedIn. You can check our posts on Facebook, on our website, and we are here for you anytime you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining and for staying with us until this time. And thank you so much, Ada. It's been a real pleasure and honor to have you here. Thank you for the
Andreea.
knowledge.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.